Welcome back to the Flushing Faithful podcast. Let's take a look at what the Mets did during the winter meetings and a little bit beyond. I would say the number one thing they did is not make a trade for Real Muto. I don't know what it is and why people think he's the top catcher in the league. I mean, when you look at durability, I guess that makes him the top. But if you look at the geek stats, he's in the middle of the pack. You would have traded Noah Syndergaard, who could be an ace, for a middle of the pack catcher. Well, the Mets did a pivot and they signed Ramos. He's the one I thought they should have got in the first place. Only problem is he has the same problem as Travis d'Arnaud, always hurt. And since Plawecki's out of options, the Mets will most likely keep all three unless a trade comes along. The good thing about Travis d'Arnaud is he can play other positions. So there is a possibility they move him around the field because he is a right-handed bat, which is something they need. I don't know how it would work, but I'd be willing to try because he can hit. I mean, he's a good pitch framer too. The problem with him behind the plate is he can't throw anyone out. But when you look at today's baseball, no one's stealing bases anymore anyway. Unless Syndergaard is on the mound, then they try. But beyond that, no one really steals bases. And Syndergaard is getting a little better at holding runners on. If he can put it all together like he did a few years ago, I believe it was 2015, you're looking at having a second ace on the team. So that was the first move. The second move was Jeurys Familia. He's okay. I mean, this time he's going to be a setup guy. He was okay as a closer too. There was no issue, except, well, for Mets fans, he would give you a heart attack every time he's on the mound. It looked like he always had runners on. But if you compare his numbers to the other relievers, he has less walks per 9 innings. I don't know how it always seemed like he had someone on base when you look at it that way. But 3 years, $10 million to be a setup guy and also a mentor to Diaz, that's something that worked out well in their favor. And there was another pickup that went unnoticed, the Rule 5 draft, Kyle Dowdy. Well, he didn't go unnoticed, but he's a starter who doesn't have secondary pitches, so he's a guy you can throw in the bullpen too. He throws 98. If he learns even one more pitch, he would be an effective reliever. He has 4 pitches. If he can hone all 4, he can be a starter for you down the line, but for next year, why not keep him in the bullpen? There are a few other things that the Mets are looking at, which to me makes no sense. They're kicking the tires on Mike Moustakas. Don't the Mets have enough left-handed hitting players as it is? Of course, they could use his power, but besides that, what else does he offer? Jeff McNeil should be starting at third base. Not Todd Frazier, not Mike Moustakas. I guess you can use Moustakas at first base too once in a while or something, but he just doesn't fit. I mean, right now, the Mets have a pretty decent team. The only thing is center field because Lagares is always injured. But maybe platoon him with Nimmo and get another outfielder who can hit who's right-handed. I hate to use the word platoon with Nimmo because he showed that he could be a decent player. Maybe it was just a one-year thing and the league catches up to him. Who knows? Conforto's another one who I'm not 100% sold on, but people are because the power. He's also a Boris client, so he's going to get too expensive for the Mets at some point anyway. What I would do if I was the Mets now? Stock up in the draft on college hitters who are close to ready. Also, you have enough starters for now. I would probably, I might even deal one of them. But the only thing is, there's no value in trading Wheeler because he's a free agent unless you sign him to a contract. Matz, I don't know what his value would be. He might be a late bloomer, which is good. He looked like he was putting it together. DeGrom should be signed. Syndergaard should be signed. These are things that all should be done this winter. Who knows if it will be. But you have a catcher. You're hoping Peter Alonso works out at first base. You have Robinson Cano. You have Rosario at shortstop. McNeil should be at third, not Todd Frazier, but it is what it is. Todd Frazier could also play a little first base too, if you need to give Alonso a break. It sounds like the Mets are out on A.J. Pollock for center field, which I think is good because he's just as injured as everyone else they have. That's the Mets' main problem. Too many injury risks. Hopefully everyone can stay healthy. The team does look good, and Brodie's claiming they're going to win the division. I'd like to hope so. So I guess we'll see what happens. Everything right now looks good on paper, but as you know, it doesn't matter until the season starts. Once the season starts, then we'll see. But it looks like Brodie is still trying to make another move, whatever that move may be. Just don't know what it is yet. I can't see the Mets making any major move because what else do they need? This has been another episode of the Flushing Faithful podcast.